is on fairy bread. Now, fairy bread is a kids' party favourite that I believe dates back to the 1920s, and as far as I can tell, it's only something that we do in Australia and New Zealand, although I could be wrong. But to make fairy bread, you start with some fresh white bread, just like that, and you get some margarine. Yes, you get some margarine, Meadowlee, which spread happiness, for instance, and lovely yellow gold, I suppose you'd call it, margarine. Hopefully put the lid back on, and butter your bread with those, with the margarine, and then the secret ingredient is hundreds and thousands. And I actually googled it, and there's lots of different brands of hundreds and thousands available in Australia. Maybe 6 or 8 different brands, which I thought was quite surprising. And this one came from Aldi, I think, which is the German supermarket chain that's operating in Australia. And yeah, I'm not sure if you can read there, this is made in Australia from at least 82% Australian ingredients, which is interesting. Everything's interesting. Oh, now the ingredients is, I'm not sure if you can read that, sugar, tapioca starch, natural colours, 120, 100 and 141, and 160C, and glazing agent 903, and there could be peanuts and tree nuts present if it's coming out of the same factory that makes the peanut stuff. Yes, so yeah, they're little, sort of all little coloured balls of sugar, cornstarch, vegetable oil, and colours and flavours. So there we go, that's your hundreds and thousands. I just should have that on that angle, I think, so you can see. Made by White Mill, 350 grams in total. And I'm not sure if anybody likes that sound of the little hundreds and thousands rolling around. There's some nutrition information, of course, that I keep showing you on my Aussie food videos, Aussie snack food videos. Yeah, okay. So enough of that one. I'll just put that up right. Okay, so I'll get the margarine and do this. I'll pop it there, and then the next step, and thinly spread that across the bread like that, going up into all the corners. Up into all the corners like that. Okay. Obviously the margarine ounces. Like that. It's maybe a bit thick there. I suppose it doesn't matter if it's a little bit thick. Put a little bit extra on that bread, just in case. Not really an expert in making fairy bread. Perhaps just an expert in eating fairy bread. I'd have to say. I remember this at kids' parties. There was always a big plate of fairy bread at the party. I remember as a kid eating fairy bread and enjoying it, and when I've seen it as an adult, I still really really enjoy having a piece. Okay, yeah, so there we go. This is coming out at full bore, out of the lid, but we'll go over the sprinkly section over there. Just put the margarine out of the way for the moment, and all you have to do then is just carefully sprinkle. Obviously some will go west, or fall on the plate, that is. Sprinkle. Carefully sprinkle your hundreds and thousands all across the bread, so there's just a one layer, I suppose, roughly, and they're pretty well covering all of the margarine. Yeah, okay. And then the last bit is it has to be cut into triangles. You can't have it, can't cut it into squares. You can't leave it as a whole piece. It's got to be cut into triangles. Yes, hundreds and thousands. Fairy bread. Creating fairy bread. Lost a bit. Now I just have to remind people that this is actually a towel here on a table, and obviously it's not carpet, because everybody thinks it's carpet, which is fair enough, and I guess like a few fall off, but that's a beautiful triangle of fairy bread. Now what I'm going to do, you can't just shove them on a plate like that. You've got to arrange them somehow in a sort of a professional pattern. Would it be a professional or an artistic pattern? That's the word I'm looking for. I've actually got no idea how to do this. Oh, I think I do, yeah, something like this. Here we go. Yeah, that's it. I think that's it anyway. Yeah, I think that's something like that. On the plate, perhaps. And then the little kitties can come along. Make it sort of hygienic. They'll just take one, hopefully, without touching every other piece. They'll just take one like that, and off they'll run. The next one will come and take another one like that, without having to touch all the other pieces. Well, that's the plan. I guess if it was a girls' party then, it's more likely than a boys' party. If I should make that a little bit different. It looks quite appetizing, obviously. I've only made 2 slices of bread, where I've ended up in 8 triangles. But you obviously might have a big plate of them, and you would probably have this, along with lollies and chips, perhaps a bit of red cordy, and yes, everybody would, the kids would have a good time. They'd be pretty hyped up. Now, just to explain red cordy, it's red cordial. It's that concentrate that you mix with water to make a drink. Sugar. The concentrate, so sugar, water, food colouring, that sort of stuff. Yeah, have a great kids party. Now, okay. Now I've got to try one, and I'm sure I'm going to love this. It's like that sort of sweet taste on the margarine with the fresh bread. Takes me back to my childhood. You probably can hear the real crunchy sound when I eat that. I'll just put the lid back on the margarine. It's Meadowlee margarine made from natural plant seeds. Yep. Made in Australia from at least 85% Australian ingredients. Meadowlee Spread Happiness Original, and 500 grams. And oh, there we go, on the bottom of the packet you've got all your different nutrition information. What I actually another margarine that we usually have as well at home is this one. It's empty at the moment, and I washed it out for this in preparation for this video. But I thought I'd like to show you that it's actually we have a Sunnyvale brand, and anybody that's a fan of the Trailer Park Boys will know that they live at the Sunnyvale Trailer Park, that's the show from Halifax, Nova Scotia in Canada. I've watched a few of the early series of that, but that's as far as I've got with it. And also, if there's an Australian show called Housos, which is sort of similar. They live in public housing, and that's why they're called Housos. And they live in the fictional suburb of Sunnyvale as well. This is actually an Audi brand. I don't know if it says Audi on there or not. But anyway, now also, these are the back with the bottle of hundreds and thousands, that's it, yeah. Or sprinkles, they're sometimes called. Somebody left me a comment saying I should do the fairy bread video, and actually had already had that in mind, and then I should make it into a counting video where I count all of the hundreds of thousands. I think it might have been a joke. Hopefully it was. It'd be hard to count with any accuracy all of the hundreds and thousands. Oh yeah, now these are also used on ice cream, and I think if you use that side, you could sprinkle a fair bit on your ice cream in one go. Or I suppose you could use this side as well, just to get a smaller amount on your ice cream. I better show this one too. Best before 13th of November 2020. So I do actually eat food that's in date. I better check the, see if I can find the use by date on the margarine. Best by date. Oh, there we go. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it says 2nd of December 2020. And obviously the bread's fresh, so yeah, everything's in date for this video. Oh yeah, so ice cream. Was I going to say that? Sprinkles. Hundreds of thousands on ice cream, on cupcakes, and on biscuits. I've seen them quite regularly. So yeah, a good way to finish things off. I did Google fairy bread, and there was apparently there was a story in the Hobart Mercury from the 1920s where it talked about fairy bread, and there is a poem by Robert Louis Stevenson called Fairy Bread that comes out of a big book called A Child's Garden of Verses from 1885. But it talks about fairy bread, but I don't think it actually mentions this type of fairy bread. maybe the people that started to making it were reading some of those poems to their kids in the 1920s, and they decided to call this fairy bread rather than sprinkle bread or hundreds of thousands of bread, which is what also it could be called. So yeah, that's fairy bread. So I think I've told you everything that I'd planned to talk about with fairy bread. It's probably only made in Australia and New Zealand, although I can't be sure of that. And I'm sure somebody will leave a comment in the comment section if other countries enjoy fairy bread. It's pretty simple. Fresh white bread, margarine, and then a light sprinkling of the hundreds and thousands, which are made from sugar, cornstarch, vegetable oil, and colourings and flavourings. So yeah, this is pretty good. So yeah, I'm actually making this video early in the morning before I had my breakfast, so I'm sure I'll have a few of these fairy breads, finish them off for my breakfast, and have a lovely, healthy and tasty and nutritious breakfast. Okay, well that's about it. So I'll say I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it interesting and relaxing. Thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.